This is Answer Meditation, and you're tuning in to Sandy Daily.
Natural beauty.
The original 3 C's, the Black Carrie Bradshaw.
Listen.
You want the gossip? You want the information? The news? The real talk?
You such a
You are now tuning into the Daily Grind with me, Sandy Daly. Let's go, baby. Good morning, good day, good afternoon. Of course, you're going to be saying to me, Sandy, but it's not morning. Of course it is. It's morning somewhere, right? It's afternoon somewhere. It's day somewhere. Anyways, I'm so grateful that you decided to join me today on the Daily Grind. And guys, I have a big guest for you. So folks, she's a woman after my own heart. Trust me, I'm looking at my own self. She's such a gorgeous lady, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about she has passion. And this is who we have today. We of course have Marie Dunn. She is a social worker. She's an author. She's a marathon runner. What has this lady not done? But we're going to be talking to her very, very soon. Now, of course, we all saw what happened today in the Diddy case. And honestly, I was just over it. I just wanted it to be done. I think I've heard enough. I've heard so many things that I should not be hearing about. But anyways, it is where it is right now. And of course, his bail was denied. We shall see what happens in the future. But as I stated, it was a lot, and it was a lot for us to digest. And I'm just glad it's over at this point. But as I stated at the top of the show, I have a big guest tonight. So Marie Dunn is a dedicated social worker, humanitarian, and a marathon finisher, a true powerhouse in her community, of course. She's also a graduate of Fordham University, and she has skillfully combined clinical expertise with a deep passion for serving others. Now, she has a clear passion to be positive, to have a lasting image, and to make lasting change. And when I tell you that I have this amazing lady on my show today, look at that smile. Look at that what smile. I love women when they look great, but also when they're smart and when they're empathetic and when they're kind. Marie, how are you? Welcome to the show.
It is a pleasure to be here, and I am feeling fabulous.
Oh, girl. Right, as you should. Now, Marie, where are you based right now for the folks who don't know?
I'm currently in New York City, Bronx, to be.
Yeah. Okay. So you're in Bronx.
Yes,
Bronx. Okay. Where are you originally from? Or if
I'm
you're
from Jamaica.
hey,
Beautiful
hey,
sunny island of
beautiful Jamaica.
Of course, man.
Of course. What part of Jamaica are you from? My mom's from Trelawney, and I was born in Kingston. But I'm telling you, I saw the countryside so often. It was like I'm a country girl, which is totally fine, right?
Well, I'm happy to hear that. I'm a country girl as well. I'm from St. Anne.
Okay, nice.
Yes.
Very nice, very nice. So welcome to the show. And as I stated, somebody brought you to my attention. I thought, of course, I wanted to have her on the show, no doubt. So Marie Dunn, tell us a bit about you. I'm actually have read some of the things, obviously, but who is Marie Dunn in your eyes? This is what I want to hear.
I love that. Thank you for asking me. That's an amazing way to start. I am just a child of God. I'm a woman of faith, and I am a powerhouse. I believe in dancing to the tune of my own music and to just be of service. Honestly, that's just who I am outside of the labels that society have given me.
Right. And of course, being a social worker, as I know, because I am one myself, I know that it takes that type of attitude of service to care for others, to even delve in every realm that you have delved in. Now, you're a social worker, but also you're an author. Tell us a bit about some of the stuff that you have done in the past.
Absolutely. So, as a social worker, I want to say it was just God, like really redirecting my path, because honestly, I wanted to be an attorney, but unfortunately, I was not prepared, and I don't think that's where I should have been. So when I flunked the LSATs,
Oh, no.
I felt it miserable, and I think all of my ego's bruised, and I
Right,
decided
right,
to go ahead with becoming a social worker.
right,
I grew up with my mom. She was the community social worker. She earned her degree without going to school, right?
right.
Because I saw my mom being this selfless woman and
Yes.
just always showing up for people. I recall people coming, whether it was a grain of salt, some sugar, or just a listening ear. And
Right.
that's what I grew up on, right? And just her faith as well. And I guess, again, life just takes me on different journeys. And so writing was always a therapy for me. not realizing it was preparing me for this moment. Because I
Right.
remember as a kid, my mom said I would get this black and white notebook and I would go in a quiet place by myself and I would just write and write and write.
Love that.
So fast forward to 2017,
Yeah.
injured on the job. It was a blessing in disguise,
Right.
right?
Right.
And that's how I really started my journey of writing.
Right. And that's amazing. And so, you just kind of brought up something. And I'm telling you, you're a woman after my own heart because as a young girl going from Kingston to the countryside, it was always me on a blanket outside with a book, writing notes and signing my name as if I was somebody. So I know exactly what you're talking about. Now, it started in 2017 for you. Tell us a bit about how that began.
So as I mentioned, briefly, that I got injured on the job, right? And so after that injury, I was home. I fell into depression and I had two surgeries. And I think during that moment, I was just like so craving companionship that I didn't have. Luckily, I was blessed to have my family around me. But in those moments, those lonely moments when I was by myself, and that desire and that need for passion and to be filled and to be held, and that's how I started writing erotic poetry. I literally started writing what I was feeling and going
Right.
through in that moment. So
Say
that's
that
how
again. Say that again, Marie. You started writing erotic poetry. I love that.
yes,
See, you see, people, how things can one thing can lead to the other. So
exactly.
I love that, and this is why because I like that in the sense of there is nothing holding you back, right? And no shame in what you how you're feeling and what you want to write, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely. And it was not an easy journey because when
Right,
I started with my alter ego or my pseudonym, which is Toya J.
right,
Because I'm not afraid to say this, but my family did not understand what I was going through in that
yeah,
moment. And
yeah,
so, of course, culturally, how dare I talk about sex, right?
right,
You don't talk about that. And I
right.
remember saying to my mom, I love you dearly, but this is something that I have to do. So to save your face, what I'll do, I'll just use a pseudonym. And I decided to go ahead with my Talia J. And that's how the journey started.
I love that. I love that. So you are respectful, but
Yes,
also you stood your ground in that
yes,
sense. And that is great because you are a big woman. You are
absolutely.
able to, should be able to speak your mind and have what is it. But I totally understand the cultural
Yes.
divide might have kind of jumped out at you. So full of respect to your mother as well. Trust me, I've been there. I wrote the book, Whose Vagina Is It Really? My mother's like, oh my God, Sandy. So
Absolutely.
I totally understand. But for you now, so it started in 2017. And then what was the first book that it started with? So it started with the erotic poetry. And then what was that book?
So it's bold, soul searching monologues, right?
Okay.
Actually, Bold Her Liberation. I'm sorry. This was my first book that I started back in 2017. And then I worked my way up. I've had several books after. I've had one, Tease. And then I wrote an inspirational journal because journaling, that is something that actually helped me to navigate the difficulties that I was facing. And so I'm like, instead of purchasing journals from others, why don't I create my own? Which I did, of course. And then I had in 2022, I believe it was, I came out with Bold Soul Searching Monologues, another erotica, and
Nice.
I love it. I'm so impressed with it. And then, of course, my life changed again
Oh,
because that's
wow.
what I'm always doing,
Yeah.
always pivoting, right?
Yeah, of
And I
course.
think also with my initial books, like looking back and reflecting of where I am as
Yeah.
an author, as a woman who is healed and just
Yeah.
full of passion and life, I recognize that, and this is something I really want to underscore here in this conversation,
Yeah.
is that you may not understand your journey. You may be
Yeah.
confused. Others may not understand it either, but it's okay
Yeah.
because you don't have to seek validation and or approval from anyone. You just
Exactly.
need to seek that from God, right?
Right.
And if you can get to that space where you don't give two about others, what they
Right.
think and what they say, then I think that's when you can truly say you have become, you have arrived. And for me, that is success.
Right.
Just getting up and not caring what anyone has to say, because
Right.
they're going to say anyway, but it takes time.
And it takes courage and
And it
it
takes
takes
courage.
guts. It takes courage and it takes as you said, about knowing yourself. And I found that once you know yourself, Marie, you're able to. I can always tell somebody, Sandy's not going to do this, Sandy's about, so once you know yourself, you can understand and then move forward. So, in this journey that you've actually started, where do you see yourself going with all the books that you've written? Because I know we're going to still be talking about that, but I wanted to know, what is the end goal? Do you see them being perhaps turned into a film, into a stage play? Where do you see them going?
Definitely. So one of my dreams, and I'm not going to dwell into it too much because I learned not to like talk about what I'm doing. But my goal is to actually have this on a film, create a film with this, because I think my life is so inspirational. It's impactful. It's bold. It's filled with a lot of ups and downs, because life and its journey, it's not linear. It takes you on different stages, but it's about being able to get up and say, you know what? I am going to do this anyway, even if it means I'm going to do it in fear and not having the right resources and or supports, but I'm going to do it anyway.
And that's what I love. And I always tell people, you don't wait until the perfect moment, which is exactly what you're saying. You do it when you feel it, when it moves you, and when you don't have to have everything perfectly lined up. Now, I'm showing a book there. It's called Don't Wait. Tell us a bit about that.
Ah, so
I love it. He's got the book.
this is actually so dear to me. And
Right.
this is profound, right? And it
Right.
actually has my real name. So I know my family, they can be proud of me for a change, right? It's not no erotica.
It's not no erotica.
No, this is actually real life, right?
Right.
This is like, it's universal. Everyone can relate to it, right? Because
Right.
we all go through difficulties. We all have setbacks,
And
but it's how we're
struggles.
able
Yeah.
to navigate that. We've gotten to the point where we have that self doubt,
Yes.
that we're not enough, right? And
Right.
also feeling that we can't do it because I don't have this, I don't have the money, I don't have the support. But no, you start exactly where you are, because I've always wanted to run a marathon because I was curious. I was really intrigued about how could a human being run for 26 miles, just run nonstop, all right? And so in my head, I had this lofty idea of getting to the finish line, but
Right.
I had no idea the in between stages. I
How
was
are you
thinking,
gonna get there?
yeah, I forgot about that. All I was thinking about the medal. And I think
Right.
living in a society where there's this need for instant gratification,
Yes.
where we feel that everything happens now.
Yeah.
This was a humbling moment, because
Right.
this allowed me to realize, baby girl, that's not how it's going to go. You're
Yes.
going to have to get up and you're going to have to train. You're going to have to practice. You're going to have to make sacrifices.
Right.
How badly do you want it? So I literally had to ask myself those questions. Why am I doing this? Right.
Right.
And
Right.
so I say, and it's in the book, I ran 765 miles, I think, to run
Wow.
26 miles. And I
Right.
hope this doesn't go over people's head.
Right. Right.
765 training miles
Right.
just to run 26 miles.
Just to run 26 miles. Yeah, exactly. So it shows the length that you have to go. It shows the depth that you have to go to just to get to that low spot that you need to get to.
Yes.
Critical thinking wasn't a bad thing, right? My
Yeah,
bad.
right. And through that process,
Yeah,
recognizing it's not about the end goal, right?
it's all
It's
about the
really
ends.
about the process and the
Yes.
person that you become during the
Doing that.
process.
Exactly. And that's great. So would you say that Don't Wait is about endurance,
Yes,
about challenges, about how we're affected by the things that we often see in front of us, and then how we have to kind of turn that into something better at the end?
absolutely. So it's about resilience, it's about being bold, and it's about taking control and doing whatever it is that sets your soul on fire, whatever it is that you feel comfortable with, and being able to do this in solitude. That
Right.
profoundness, solitude, and silence. Because, like I said, the sacrifice I had to make, lots of people didn't understand, and I had to drop people along the way. So I had to make a decision.
Right.
If I'm going to get this done, there's no way I could continue living my life the way I was living my life, right?
Yeah, for
So I
sure.
had to put my social life on pause, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I had to create, I had to be so strategic. Even with my time, I couldn't give of myself the way I used to.
Right.
I decided and realized that no in itself holds so much power and it's necessary, right? And so it's like so much different nuggets. And also like reflecting on my childhood and my relationship with my mother, recognizing how my mom was grooming me for this. And I didn't realize that was happening.
Right.
I talk
Right.
about near death experience in my book as well, and how just every aspect, every challenge, it literally allowed me to become the person I am today. And I'm forever grateful and humbled.
So would you also state that don't wait is about the promise that life is not promised at all, but it also
Absolutely.
has a way of, it's the actions that are necessary to get to that level? Is that how you would somewhat describe the book?
Absolutely. Like I think just in reflecting on my launch date, right? And that was
Right.
a message that really I underscored. Like I literally challenged people to think about, what if you had 6 months to live?
Right.
What would you give more of, and what
Hmm.
would you let go? And I
Right.
wanted folks to understand that, because life is not promised to us. We're here
Right.
talking right now. You could hear, like, you know what? Marie didn't make it tomorrow. And
Oh,
so with me, I
yeah.
live my life in gratitude. I don't
Right.
fear death. I think
Right.
having that near exposure to mortality, it has changed
Right.
who I am. So I'm this like really special person, just dancing to the tune of my own music, and I'm okay with it.
Oh, that's good. I love that. I love that. Now, I saw you recently on an interview,
Yes.
and just remind me what that was, because it has kind of slipped my mind. But I knew it was in New York. I know it was in New York somewhere, and it was just a great interview that I saw. Was that recently last week?
Yes, that was recent. That was my first interview with actual Bronx Net. It's a TV network here in the Bronx, it's a local station. It was really amazing, right? And again, this just also shows the power of believing in yourself and just asking, just putting yourself out there and not worrying about what the response is going to be, right? And
Right.
through this process, because I've written several books like I've shared earlier, but
Yeah.
I never had the time to do the marketing piece and to put myself out there. That's because I was so busy with work. What I didn't share, like last year, I lost my job. I got laid off. And it was a
Wow.
blessing. It's the
Right.
best thing that could have ever
Ever
happened.
happened to you? Exactly.
Every setbacks in my life, I don't look at it as a setback. I
Yeah.
look at it as a lesson and a blessing, because
Right.
it's saving me from something and pushing me forward to what it is that I was designed to
To
be
do
in God's
and to be.
image.
Exactly. I was actually listening to something that Oprah said when recently, and she basically, I think she was at a graduation or something, and Marie, she basically stated that there's a higher purpose for everyone on this earth, and how dare we, as you stated, you had to give up certain things, you had to give up, leave some people behind. Let's put it that way. How dare us to be struggling or wishing or holding on to people when your own path is what, right? You
That
should be
part.
on that part, your own path. So relationships that come and go. And sometimes as women, and I have to ask you this, a lot of times as women, the question is, a lot of times as women, we actually have to decide between the relationship or the career. And it's not trying to be personal, but I, as a female in this industry, has had to do that, make a decision. Has that ever impacted you, or is it just something that you've kind of gone along the way and made those decisions as it actually comes in front of you?
I would say yes in a nutshell, because I'm a single
Yeah.
woman, happily single, living life because it's my decision, right? But I've had to make that decision to figure out, do I need to stay in a relationship that no longer served me?
Right.
Because I think that is something that we struggle with as women, women
Mhm.
of color, right? And also our cultural background, right? Where you're supposed to stay in that relationship and
Right.
figure it out.
And a husband.
Yeah, especially if you're married, you're not supposed to get divorced. But I think for me, I
Right.
had to take a step back. And when I think about, I'm getting really emotional thinking about my mom, because
Yeah.
when I think about how much she poured into me, and I remember as a child, I think I was probably 9 years old, I don't remember, but my mom said something to me that was so profound that lived with me up until this day. Mommy said, you have three strikes against you. You're black, you're poor, and you're a woman. So you'll have to work three times as hard. But just remember, the only approval you need is that one from God.
Right.
But you could become anything that you
Right.
want. She's like, you're a star. Believe in
Right.
yourself.
Right.
So I live my life accordingly. It took
Right.
some time for me to get to this space, right? Because I was never like this. Like I grew and I gave myself time. I went to
Right.
therapy, I stayed in silence and I had to
Yeah.
figure out myself by myself, right?
Right.
And so I've gotten to this space where now I'm just going to do whatever it is God is leading me to do. I'm
Exactly.
moving according to how He's talking to me. Because even with Don't Wait, I got this vision from 2023, October 19th, 2023 to be exact. And the title of the book was Honoring the Journey, How I Got Started and Kept Going. And after I got laid off from work and I had time, my brother, shout out to you, Javon, has always said to me, you need to read Rich Dad Poor Dad. And so I had the time to read it. And basically, one of the things he spoke about was being very strategic about how you decide on the title of your book. You
Right.
want it to be catchy because when we think about the human mind and how quick we lose focus. And
Yeah.
so I decided, what is one thing that had kept me back in the past? And when I
Mhm.
reflected, I'm like, I was always trying to figure out, but I never have the resources. How is this peer person going to feel? And I
Right.
said, bingo, don't wait.
Don't wait. And that's how that came to you. And that's a great title because your brother is correct. Titles make a huge difference in the length of how people actually will actually go after your book, or even just thinking, should I even pick up this book or not? So a title will definitely make that difference. Now you have Don't Wait, you have the erotic poetry. What next are you working on?
So on the same day that I launched Don't Wait, of course I had to do something for Talia J because she was just creating a storm in this household with me. So I created Salt and Honey, and this
Right.
literally speaks to me and
Yeah.
talk about love and the loss and my longing, right? And also how I've been inspired and thinking about self-love is the best love of all. And
Right.
also thinking about like sometimes we get into some relationships and we wish we could have changed it. We could have like take back the sex. Let's be honest here, right?
Right.
And
Right.
all of
Right.
that. So it's like really raw, candid, and also just
Right.
reminding that you need to hurt to understand what it is that love is all about, and
Yeah.
understanding that to love honestly and to be fulfilled in love, you have to have that dance between
Mhm.
surrender and
Yeah.
and
Right.
it's okay. But
Right.
don't be afraid to love because you've been hurt.
Yeah.
Think about what you've learned,
Mhm.
the role you have played, and how you're going to do things differently.
Right. And I think I like that because a lot of times women and men too, but we'll just speak to the women. A lot of times I find that we stay stuck in that revolving door in our heads and not even trying to grow from that. And also to learn from the mistakes because we all make mistakes. I mean, there's some relationships that I said to myself, I wish I'd done a little things better or maybe moved a little differently. It is what it is. But I've grown from that and I've learned from that to know that if it is that I do get into something else again, I will know perhaps how to handle things a little bit differently. And to, as you said, there is that dance and that balance between surrender and strength. There is that surrender that women sometimes have, and men too.
Yeah.
Not o- and men too. So I totally understand and respect that. Now, the books that you have, which one do you like better? Writing, and I have to ask this: writing the erotica girlfriend, or writing the books that the mother can read?
You know what? I would say my favorite book is my first book, Bold Her Liberation. And the reason it's that this is the book that started this process for me, that allowed me to be bold and to recognize it's okay. Perfection does not exist. You don't have to have it right, but go ahead and follow your gut. Follow what makes sense to you and not worry about the external noise because I feel that's a distraction. So do whatever you want to do. It's
Right,
your life. Give
right,
yourself permission. So
exactly.
Bold Her Liberation is actually my first book. And because I have learned so much and I have seen my growth as an individual,
Yeah,
as an author, and as a publisher, because I created my own publishing company.
yeah. I remember you said that. Tell me a bit about that.
Yeah, so again, it's creating opportunities for myself because
Yeah,
when we decided to release Bold Her Liberation, when I was reaching out, like folks were charging like so much money to like
right.
do the publishing aspect, and folks never really believed in me and didn't want to invest in me. So I
Mhm.
said to myself, "Hey, guess what? I'll create my own publishing company
Of
so I can
course.
do whatever I want. And
Right.
so I think it's just about just getting up and realizing that there is so much power in you and just doing it. You don't have to have, again, it goes back to don't wait. You don't have to have it all together, have it all figured out, or thinking that, oh, this person is not supporting me. I believe when you live your life authentically and when you are listening to the universe and you're creating the life that you deserve, the right people will come into your circle just like that. Like, even
Right.
think about, how did I get on your interview? I didn't even know you existed, but it's
Right.
someone who I had an impact on and someone who saw the power in me did this. So think about how the universe aligns to get me here. And
Right.
that's what I want to really underscore here to everyone, anyone out there. It doesn't matter. You don't have to be an author. You don't have to run marathons, or you don't even have to do ultra marathon. I forgot about that. I did my first ultra marathon.
Okay, nice. When was that?
That was probably 3 weeks ago because I'm literally just recovering from it.
Right.
It was
She says recovering.
oh yeah. So I this is like off topic. So I remember when I did New York City Marathon, I
Yeah.
lost 8 toenails, and my mentor and my mom, when I decided to do Philadelphia Marathon,
Right.
said to me, "So make me understand. You grow your toenail, if you go lose your toenail again." So that was like a running joke. But again, it just really shows you that
Yeah,
anything that you do in life, you got to be passionate about it,
of course.
understand your why, and be willing to make sacrifices and lose some toenails.
Right? Lose some, put that in. That's the topic of your next book, the title. Lose some lose some toenails. I'm giving that to you right now. You can thank me later. Be like, oh my God, Sandy, I'm gonna make it.
Yes, yes,
That's going to be a seller right there. Now, you have, I did ask you at the top of the show, any plans to make this into a movie and stuff like that? Any serious plans to make it perhaps into, you know what I mean? Like going around the country, doing like book signings, and what's the
absolutely.
next step with that? And have you ever been to Canada to this side?
No, I'm coming to you next, right?
Hey, there you
We're
go.
working on that. I'm putting it out into the universe. So I'm
Right,
putting this out into the universe. I'm
right.
working on it, right? So my goal is to have a tour, a book tour.
Yes.
I have some plans that's already cemented. Not gonna put it out there yet.
All right.
Everybody will hear about it, but that's actually my goal because I think what I have, I don't think what I have is so inspirational. And I
Yeah.
want folks to understand the power of healing,
Right.
the power of healing, self discovery, and like figuring out what your purpose is. If you don't know your purpose, I feel you're lost and you can't move forward. Like when I wake up in the mornings, I wake up excited, maybe a little tired at times, but I wake up super excited because I have a plan for my day. I know
Right.
exactly what it is that I'm doing. And I have a morning routine because I literally, when I'm training, I literally start my days at 3:30 in the mornings.
Oh, really? Wow.
I had to
Wow.
because I had a full-time
Time
job when I
job.
first started
Exactly.
training, right?
Yeah.
So in order for me to get through my spiritual routine and
Yeah.
also to center myself and get prepared with my content for social media, because that take up a lot of
That
time.
takes a lot of time, girl. I
And
know.
also, like, I started a nonprofit organization when my dad passed in
Right.
2021. So I'm doing a lot of stuff that makes me fulfilled. So I started my day at 3:30 and I'm out the door by 5 o'clock in the morning. But
Wow.
every night, my clothing for my workout and my running, it's
Is
already laid out
is already laid out, girl. I know.
in the morning and I just get going. So I think find your purpose,
Yeah.
understand your why, and self healing. You got to
Right.
heal yourself. Find a clinical therapist, or guess what? Go and speak to your pastor or a trusted individual. But you
Yeah.
got to start that work of healing, right? And realizing there is no progress without process.
Right.
Timing is everything. And you got
And
to lose some people along the way.
along the way to, and also, the thing that you just stated, preparation.
Yeah.
They always say is say preparation plus opportunity makes it, something amazing. So you always prepare. And I have the same mentality, get my stuff together the night before, because you don't know, I might wake up late the next morning or something like that. So you always have that. And that is where you, as an author, you understand that, somebody who's creative, that preparation is definitely something that you need to do. Now, two things before I let you go, and I thank you so very much for being here, Marie. It's been an amazing opportunity for me to speak to you. Any more marathons in your near sight for you right now? Where you run? Where can you see on the streets running, girl? That's what I'm asking.
So I know I'm in the Bronx. I'm in the Bronx. You'll see me running
Right.
to Harlem. You may see me running to Connecticut. You may see
Really?
me running to Brooklyn. But I'm that girl running all over the place in some bright color because I'm
Oh,
always
nice.
out, right? So I had to put a pause on my summer runs because, like I said, I really damaged my big toe nail
Right.
and I had to
Right.
get the nail surgically removed. So I literally, I'm just coming back from healing with that. But
Right.
I'm running in marathon in DC in October.
Okay.
That means so much to me because that's actually me raising money for
Right.
charity funds. So I'm excited about that. But yeah,
Right.
so that's what I have for running now. And I promised my brother I'm probably going to pack it up. But I don't know about that because I am a very competitive person.
Right.
I feel I need to go back and get that 50 miles. I was like 8 miles short of it.
Short of it.
Yeah, but I
So
feel so proud of
it's
myself.
definitely bugging me. I totally understand that. Now, where can they find your books? Either your alter ego or you yourself. Where
I
can they
love
get
it.
your
I
book?
love it. I love it. So all my books can be found on my website, which is www.beboldtoya.com. I'll repeat it. www.beboldtoya.com. Or you could always hit me up on Instagram. My handle is I am underscore Marie Dunn.
Perfect. So www.btoya.com or hit you up on Instagram
Yes.
and they can actually find you. Marie, whenever I come to New York, which will be very, very soon, let's just put it that way. I don't have to tell people when I'm traveling myself,
Yes.
but I will certainly reach out to you. You're welcome, more than welcome to make it over to Canada anytime soon. It will be a pleasure. We just had Sharon Gordon here at a different book list. That's an amazing bookstore that whenever you come to the city, authors, especially Black authors, that's where they go. So that is something to keep in your back pocket whenever you're coming over this side. Make sure that you have your book signings at a different book list. And anywhere you're going, please just let me know. I can put it up out there to say, hey, she's going to be somewhere doing a book signing and let folks know. Any last words to folks that are listening? Dropped some great gems, but any last words, especially to females who are actually watching this show and words of encouragement, inspiration, or just your final thoughts?
Just start exactly where you are. Don't wait. The time is now, this moment that you are sure of. Don't wait for validation or approval from anyone. You got to figure it out because healing, it starts within, and only you can create the change that you deserve. It's going to be scary, but you can do it. You are more than enough. You got this.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so very much. That, of course, is my new friend. As I've said, a woman after my own heart. She writes some funny stuff, and I like that. And also just passionate. I love people who are passionate and true to themselves, and who also, most importantly, encourage others to be the best version of themselves. So, Marie, thank you so very much. It was a pleasure. Thank you, and good luck in your next venture. When I see you running on, I'm like, oh my God, there goes Marie running down the street. Bye, honey. Take care. All right. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
very
It's
much.
a
Bye bye.
pleasure.
You're welcome.
Good
Bye
night.
bye. Bye. And of course, that was the one and only Marie Dunn, an amazing author, an amazing lady. And, I bring all the great guests here. I love that. I love the fact that people who are worthwhile, people who are inspiring, the people who are just, push themselves. Stop by the Daily Grind with Sandy Daly. And of course, do not forget that you can always catch me on Roadblock Radio from 6 until 8 a.m. every Saturday morning. Super Jams Radio, 9 to 11 every Monday night, as well as now Energy Radio as well, in the Mondays as well as on Saturdays. And now Reggae North Radio has picked up my show. So the Daily Grind is on all the stations in Canada, as well as in the States. And these are iHeartRadio stations as well as CBS. So this, of course, has been an amazing show. And I thank you so very much for stopping by. Be good, behave yourselves, and I'll see you on Saturday. Bye bye, babies.